All right, I was going to do this as screen grabs, but I think I'm going to follow your guys' lead and do this as a screen video, so that you guys can see everything. The left-hand screen is as if I'm an administrator, okay? The right-hand portion of my screen is actually my cell phone that is I'm serving up to the screen. So these are side by side. The left side is designed to be an administrator. The right side is designed to be a field worker. And so we're going to go over the version of this that's in Zoho Projects. So first things first, I just want to kind of cover some of the setup things over in this area of Zoho. And so one of the things I want to point out, and I only have one of them set up right now, but I do have one project template set up, and then I have one task template set up. I'm going to look at the project template first so you guys can see what's in here. There's one milestone, and inside that milestone, I have my test list. Okay, this test list is a template, a list template. And inside this list template, there are 3 tasks, okay? And you'll see how this comes forward when we actually generate it. But this is part of the automation that we're looking to do with you guys. So like I said, that was the project template. Inside the project template is a task template, which contains tasks within it. We can set default start times after a project begins and then the duration of each of those tasks, right? So it's very simple. I've thrown it together just for the purposes of demonstration. But I think the long and short is that this is how we're going to align your deals over on the CRM to projects over here. So when a deal hits a closed state, it is going to generate a project on this side with the appropriate template. So in order to kind of emulate that, because I did not go through the extra step of setting up the automation. If when the CRM hits its status, it would generate a new project, and I'm doing it manually here. So let's just call this 789 Elm Street, okay? And we'll select the template that I created, and we'll go ahead and do a start date of today. That's totally fine. It's going to help with all the stuff that we've got going on. And then, all this stuff would really populate from the CRM. So this whole process that I'm showing you right now would not be something you'd have to manually do, but I have to do this to simulate what would go on. So you can see it's going to take a couple minutes for that to generate. While I'm waiting for that to generate for the 789 Elm Street project, and you can see I've got 2 other projects up here as well, I just want to talk about the way we set up users in here, because the user piece of this, mostly the portal users that we've got in here, I just want to kind of show you, I've got different roles and profiles and roles that are set up for different people. So these top 3 users all have the admin privilege. Even though this guy's an employee, he has admin privileges on the profile. And there's one employee here that has the employee profile and role. Now, we don't have to call them these. These are completely flexible in the roles and profile sections. We can create these and create the permissions that go along with them. The reason I bring this up is because when I get to teams, right, you do have the capacity to set up teams in here. I have a team A, which has 3 users associated with it. I'll call it the 3 Ryans. Ryan Test is the guy that's an employee, okay? These 2 guys are administrators, all right? And under normal circumstances, if we had a team, we'd probably have one user in a role of team lead, I would assume, or super, and then we'd have everyone else being just, workers within a team dynamic. So I've got these guys in here, and you can see that these guys have one project associated with their team. Now, on the right, I'll get to the right-hand side in just a minute. What we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and associate another project, our new project, which is 789 Elm Street. I'm going to send that to the same team, okay? And there's a couple reasons I'm going to do this, because there's a third project in here, which is 456 State Street, all right? So I'm going to go to 456 State Street real quick. And you can see I set this up just prior to the demo. You can see I've got tasks in here. And when I go to assign these tasks to discrete users, I want to point out that my Ryan Test user is not available here, because I've got his privileges set such that if he's not part of a team and a team's associated with this, he doesn't have access. Only the administrators have access to be assigned to under this circumstance. Now, we could change the way those roles work, but the minute I go over to 789 Elm Street, which should be generated by now, I've got the same 3 tasks generated by the template, but when I go in here, I should now have access to Ryan Test because he's part of the team that was assigned with this project, okay? And I'll submit that. So we're going to add that to his boat. What's also nice is I can actually add multiple people to this here, and so more than one person can be assigned to an actual task, which is great. And then we get down here and I'll submit that for him. So this Ryan test user that I'm showing in here is the same exact test user that we're going to load the app for on the other side. Okay, so great. This is all done. Everything's been assigned. And let's say we're doing this in the evening. The guy's already off work for the day. I'm also going to come over here and say, hey, even though I want you guys starting on 789 Elm Street tomorrow, I have an issue. I've got a 911 issue at 123 Main Street. I need you to stop here before you start tomorrow. Okay. And so this is great. I'm going to go ahead and assign that to Ryan Test. Okay. We are in the, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have, let me cancel. I was in the wrong project context. I want to send the issue for 123 Main Street. Okay. So I got to be on that tab. Sorry. We'll start again. 911. Oh, there it is. Perfect. Need you to stop here in morning. Please report 123 Main before 789 Elm. Okay, and obviously you could put all sorts of other details in there, and this could be generated as well if we've got the right things to key off of. So I'll generate that for tomorrow, and I'll put this as a showstopper severity. And one of the things about the severity here, right? And we can modify the severity levels, but one of the things about the severity being available. So I'll go ahead and add this. But one of the things that we can do on the severity is, sorry, that's the summary of the issue. So I'll point out here that there's automation we can also run on issues. And part of what I would recommend we do for issues, and this is, kind of what I'm recommending for, scheduling on demand for certain things, is that we can set up business rules, right? So I'll add a rule here, and this is what we'll call a showstopper rule, okay? And this is for showstopper issues, right? And so on issue creation, right, which is going to be the most critical piece of this, especially if something's a showstopper, as we're saying up here, I can then say, look, if the severity is showstopper, okay, then I will, I could do something real generic, but I think in this case, we would use a webhook or custom function to call something like Twilio and send that user an SMS message saying, hey, critical issue, change in plans, whatever we want to configure in here to be able to do that. And that draws their attention back to the app or to do whatever they need to do. In addition to them being able to see it in the app, they would get this SMS saying, hey, there's something critical for you to take a look at. Please open your Zoho Projects thing. There's a new issue in here for you that we need you to address immediately for 123 Main Street Solar Project. We could do it via email as well. But I think in this particular case, right, for a show-stopping issue, we would want to do it that way, okay? So I'll hit cancel here because I'm not going to obviously write a webhook or a custom function at this point in time. Let's go back out to 789 Elm Street, and we will go to the tasks, right, that we've got open here, and these are the ones that will come through. Now, if we look at the right side of our screen, I'll go ahead and launch Zoho Projects as the guy in the field who's going to be doing stuff. And so if I go to my projects, I was already in here before, so I'll come back and go back, right? But I see my 2 projects, right? Both of my projects are here. 789 Elm Street as well as 123 Main Street Solar Project. You can also see that I've got 3 notifications down below, kind of letting me know that I've got stuff in motion here and stuff coming through to me that were assigned to me. But if I go into 123 Solar Project into my issues, there's my 911 for 123 Main Street. So I can go in here and I could go take care of this if I needed to, and deal with what I needed to do. Let's say I just wanted to, add my time log on here. I could do that and get going. Furthermore, if I come back here to my my tasks, right, for the same issue, I'm able to do these on a more regular basis. This is the wrong project, though. This would be the 123 Main Street project. So in the 789 Elm Street project, I've got my tasks here, and I could be running through these. So you can see I've got my Start Task button in the middle of the screen. Get that going. In this case, I'm using the blueprint to enforce entry of information. Now, this may be a little nonsensical for this example, but there are a lot of things we can kind of enforce as people run through this piece of it. You can see my next transition switches to complete task. Then I could, for example, I should also start my time, right? So there's a little timer up top that I can use to start tracking my time on this. I can go sit at home and close this down, come back to it later. Basically you can see my global timer sitting here tracking my time on this. Okay. And let's say I made a goof and I actually hit stop by accident on this. We would, I get the ability, I hit the update button down there to take a look at this, but I could also come in here and actually modify. Let's say I stopped it too soon. So I'd hit end time and I would adjust this out to, whatever, 4:30 p.m. Okay, instead of 4:30 a.m. and hit done. Okay, so I would be able to save that, update my time log, and get all my updates here. You can see a new element is added to my timesheet, and I'm ready to go. I can also see tasks that are scheduled for tomorrow or the next 7 days, and be able to do that. So that's one way we could use tasks and issues to do this within Zoho Projects. While it is not an immediate schedule, I think if the project templates are set up correctly, okay, if they're set up, more or less accurately, and we choose to use the issues, right, as kind of the, hey, need you to go here, need you to go here, need you to go here, that would effectively function to get things moving. So we can talk about other ways to do it. Keep in mind that issues, right, I just want to point out, I'll show it on this screen, right? When I create an issue, it does come with a time as well, right? So if I select, for you to go out today, there's also a time that comes with it, right? So I can select that. So in effect, it becomes, it does come along with that, even though it's not necessarily sitting in the calendar for the user. So let's talk through this one. I did want to share this via screen share. I just, obviously realized it was going to take way too much to try to do this in screenshots and word description. So I hope this was helpful. If you have questions, let me know. And, we can talk about the way to do this through CRM. It gets a little bit complicated for the user because now they're going to be kind of wish-washing between two different applications. We would like to keep the field users in a single application, which is, where the field service module will come into play down the road. There is a third option that we could do here where we create some sort of interim application for them in Zoho Creator. But to me, that's throwaway work because once Field Service Manager comes out to the public and becomes part of Zoho 1 and you guys want to implement it, that's probably the better place to invest. So again, this is the way I would recommend you guys work through this. But let me know if you've got questions. Let me know if we've got to work through a couple of extra things as far as how this stuff's going to flow, and we'll go from there. Thank you.